In this chapter, Brims reviewed behavioral techniques that are beneficial when working with children. This chapter might feel like a review for you, as you probably have been introduced to these concepts before. The three primary behavioral approaches are discussed here, and Brims did a nice job of providing examples to help with clarification and understanding. First, Brims reminds us about respondent or classical conditioning. This is Pavlov and his dog. The steps are listed here, and basically learning takes place through the inadvertent or planned pairing of two events. Second, Brims discussed operant conditioning. In this theoretical model, learning takes place through the experience of environmental consequences or contingencies that either develop, maintain, eliminate, decrease, or increase a certain behavior. Operant conditioning is widely used in settings with children. If you're planning to do any work with kids during your internship, chances are good that the agency where you will be will have a predetermined behavior modification curriculum that they subscribe to. Most of these will rely on the use of positive and negative reinforcement for shaping behaviors. I have to admit I'm a little bit biased towards the social learning theory. This is the work of Albert Bandura, and I used this theory in my dissertation. I know, for me, that I often learn new skills by watching others. Recently, I had a dear friend help me learn how to knit. Now, my grandmother was a knitter, a quilter. She crocheted and she made afghans for us whenever we were growing up. I remember sitting at her side trying to learn how to knit, as I wanted to create too. It was frustrating for me though, because I was left-handed and my mama was right-handed. So now I have a left-handed knitting friend, and I was able to watch her and catch up on what I needed to do. Brims offered a number of suggestions for incorporating behavioral principles into your work with children. I would stress the final point here that many of these strategies will require the buy-in of other adults in the child's life. Here, Brims discussed a number of different strategies that are commonly used and linked these back to their parent theory. Again, here are Brims' descriptions of the different ways that behavioral techniques can be used in counseling with children. In order to be effective, behavioral strategies need to be planned ahead of time after an initial baseline has been established. You'll need to include the child, the caregivers, and the teacher if the problem behavior is occurring at school, and you will need to educate them all on the importance of consistency in behavioral strategies. If the reinforcers are not applied in the recommended manner, then the strategy is likely to be unsuccessful. Regular monitoring will be necessary as well. In your next lecture, we will shift over and talk about working with adolescents. These behavioral techniques may also be important when working with teenagers.